In Activity 1.09, I'll demonstrate how to modify field sizes and add descriptions to fields within a table. Now, this operation doesn't change anything about the data unless it truncates it, and I'll explain that. So let's click on State Region, and notice that down in the field properties, it says the field size is 255 characters, but we use the convention of 2-character states, and so we're going to change this to a 2, ignoring the fact that regions in other parts of the world might require more than 2 characters, but we'll just, as an example, we'll use 2 so that we can store the 2-letter state codes in the United States. And then click in description, and we'll say 2-character state. All right, that way when somebody else a year from now looks at this, they'll know that we mean 2-character state. All right, let's next change the student ID, and let's make that 7 characters long. So click in student ID anywhere. Field size is 255, and we'll change it to 7. And then we'll say 7-digit student ID number, which is really a little redundant since we can see the name of the field, we can see the size of the field properties, but for reports and the like, documentation, etc., it's sometimes good to have descriptions in there to help folks understand what exactly you're doing. And then lastly, let's update the faculty advisor ID. We'll make that 8 characters long. And again, it's redundant to say 8-character faculty ID because or advisor, I'm sorry. I'm gonna match the book here to help you guys. The 8-character ID of faculty member assigned as advisor, but that's pretty wordy. I think people would, from the field name and from the field size, be able to generally tell, but again, for documentation purposes, sometimes it's good to highlight certain things that might be key fields. Okay, so click up here on Save, and it says some data may be lost. What does that mean? Well, the setting for the field size property of one or more fields has been changed to a shorter size. If data is lost, validation rules may be violated. As a result, do you want to continue anyway? Well, the first piece of that is if we already have data in these fields and they were longer than 2 characters, say in the state field, say we typed California instead of CA, then when we shorten this field, it will truncate that data, meaning it will only save the first 2 characters. So there is a risk with making fields shorter than they were originally if we've loaded data in after creating the table. We haven't dealt with validation rules, so ignore that for the moment. I'll say yes, and now we have changed the size of student ID to 7, the size of state to 2, and the size of faculty advisor ID to 8, and we've added descriptions.